video. Why? Because why not? I kind of miss doing them. So here we are. So last chapter we left off. It was basically the aftermath of night 6. And the animatronics feeling, finding out that Ruby actually survived and all that, and so yeah. And right at the end, we found out that night 6 was Ruby's birthday. So also the cleaners were jerks because they were like they were they came into the restaurant to find glitter and paint and all, basically a lot of stuff. Like, and for some reason they were upset about that. Like, seriously, you could have been cleaning her blood and gore, like her body parts and that. And yet you have to deal with glitter and paints. Honestly, I feel like it's better as well. Like, glitter and paint is better because no one's dead. Yes, it's messy, but that's fine. Kids make mess too, but you gotta clean that too. Anyway, so we find out it's her birthday, and yeah. So that's all that happened in chapter 12. So we are on to chapter 13, and I think the next couple of chapters are the next couple of chapters are just a little our filler stuff until we get to FNAF 2 with the toys. And I won't say anything about that because I want some surprises of what that's going to be. So, yeah, we're going to get toys. And what else should I say? I guess Puppet is coming back too, and that's it. And then some references. And a new character as well. A new original character, which I don't think Art Falfix created, who is the writer of this, but it was someone else. But I'll get there when I get there. Anyway, so as always, if you want to follow along to expect the unexpected, which is written by Arctic Vulpix, just so we're all aware, you can follow. There will be a link in the description to the exact chapter for you to follow along. Also, there will be a playlist so you can check out all the others in the as well if you just want to go over it. And of course, if you want, you can continue reading after this reading is done. So, yeah. Now that we got all that away, let's get on to chapter 13. So, night 7. I know there's no more after this. This is just night 7 because night 7. Ruby skipped through the door to Freddy's 2 minutes late. However, she was more concerned with balancing her container of leftover cake and coffee cup while she skipped it than with being late. Once safely inside the building, she looked up and paused. The room was empty. No animatronics were in the room or on stage. Frowning in confusion and slowing to a walk, she headed to the office. Setting her things down, she checked the cameras on the tablet. Okay, so Freddy and Chica were in the kitchen apparently, since they were nowhere on the cameras, and there were noises coming from the kitchen. They really need to get that camera fixed. Bunny, on the other hand, was backstage, fiddling with his guitar. Her frown deepened. He looked kind of down. Slipping the towel into her backpack, she headed in the direction of Pirate Cove. Captain Foxy? She called as she entered. The animatronic looked over from the stage and waved lazily. Evening, lass. He smiled at her. She grinned back and hopped up on stage to sit next to him. They sat in companionable silence for a moment as she sipped her coffee and generally enjoyed the lack of killer robots while on the job. So, how was your birthday? The fox eventually asked, eyeing her in amusement. She was still wearing a plastic party hat on her head. Ruby's smile turned ever so slightly apologetic. Sorry about that. I just couldn't help it. It was so perfectly set up. She giggled, remembering their expressions. He shook his head ruefully, smirking slightly. It was good, though. She smiled again and sipped her coffee. They were quiet for a few more moments before Ruby asked the question that had been bothering her. So why does it look like they're moping? She asked, holding up the tablet. Foxy sighed. With the ghost stuck upholding their side of the deal, The others don't know what to do with themselves. Since they're happy it's over. Sure, they're happy it's over, but it's been a really long time since we've had any time for hobbies and relaxing, he mumbled. You're not moping, she pointed out. He shrugged. Never been bothered by not doing anything. I'm lazy that way. She chuckled, before her expressions turned thoughtful. Then it turned evil. Then I'll just go entertain them, she declared, grinning sinisterly. She jumped to her feet, looking ready to sprint out the door before she paused and spun around to dig in her bag. So, Captain, up for some fun? She asked, mischievous glint in her eyes and two-way radios in her hand. Foxy raised an eyebrow, even as the smile tugged at his mouth. You can even watch the show, Ruby sang, handing the tablet over to him, along with one of the radios. Roping me in on your schemes? He chuckled, but didn't protest. She smirked. It's for their own good. Moping's not good for anyone. Laughing, he nodded his head in agreement. Before she left it, though, she froze again. Oh, wait, gotta get Goldie the friendly ghost in too, she announced. She leaned over and began to rapidly flick between the cameras. The bear in question appeared about 50 switches in, looking nervous. Goldie! Ruby cried, bouncing forward. Up for some pranks? Pranks? The bear frowned, glancing at Foxy. The night guard nodded eagerly. Yeah, everyone looks so down in the dumps, so let's make things interesting. Foxy's gonna guide us. She held up the other radio. A grin was creeping across the bear's face, her own mischievous nature surfacing. What you got in mind? What have you got in mind? She asked. Ruby practically tackled her bag. Glitter mines and bombs are a necessity. Exploding cookies, of course. Ooh, brought the bedazzler too. Forgot about that. There's some paint. Ooh, we can rig a cake to blow up with paint. Her listening dissolved into more planning than anything else. She shoved things into the gold suit's hand and showed her how they worked. Who's first? She asked excitedly. They looked over at Foxy expectantly. He checked the cameras again and grinned. Bond's still on backstage. Ruby nodded in the affirmative. Aye, aye, mon captain, she slid before dragging Goldie along with her. A few seconds later, his radio crackled to life. Let the battle begin, Ruby declared. Bonnie really didn't know what hit him. That wasn't a saying. One minute he was staring at the wall, his mind falling deeper into depressed thoughts. The next, there was an explosion of glitter, paint, and confetti, and he was flying on his back covered in secret combination. After the bedazzler got him in the cheek, though, he had a good idea of what was going on. He turned his head and glared at the doorway where the night guard was wearing that manic grin of hers. Hey, you're not a bad shot with that bedazzler, Goldie, she called with a laugh. Goldie, on the other hand, was staring at the strange contraption in Ruby's hands. You managed to make that in 10 minutes? And it works? She exclaimed. Ruby shrugged. Easier than throwing the glitter, paint, and confetti separately. Don't question the logic. Bonnie groaned, even as he eyed the device curiously. You two are working together? 3, Ruby corrected, holding up a radio. Looking good there, Bon. Foxy's voice came through the speaker and sounded like he was laughing rather hard. Bonnie blinked, looking between the camera, watching them and the radio before he settled on glaring at Ruby. She grinned happily back at him. That's it! You already look more lively. The rabbit stared at her in confusion. Lively? Depression doesn't suit you very well, Bunny. She grinned before she threw something at him. He caught it on instinct, and when it didn't explode, looked at it more closely. It was a paintball gun. He blinked in surprise and looked up at her. The suit stuff was over, but we can still play. Her smile softened slightly. It's fun. You a good shot? He snorted. Of course I am. She leaned forward slightly before her smile widened. Prove it. She spun around to run and called back her shoulder. And everyone's a target. Foxy and I just happen to be a team. Maybe you two can team up and help me annihilate the bear and bird. Then she was gone. Bonnie smirked, near mirroring Ruby's own smile. This is going to be fun. Goldie giggled and floated down to his level. Let's go sparkle him! Bonnie and Chica felt like an all-out war had erupted in the pizzeria. Bonnie and Ruby were going crazy with their pranks, and Goldie was having the time of her life with the bedazzler, popping in and out of rooms while sniping from the air. Foxy had booby-trapped his entire cove and the surrounding hallways, making it a mission in itself to survive there. None of them cared about innocent casualties either. At some point, they all called a truce and teamed up to mercilessly hunt Freddy and Chica down. To cut a long, glittery story short, Ruby and Bonnie are no longer committed to be on the same team. They make a terrifying pair, and Goldie is never allowed to tell the night guard ever again. Just no. The night went down in the pizzeria's history for its infamy, and only ended after Foxy had locked Bonnie in the closet with a dozen glitter bombs. Goldie got stuck in the big vacuum cleaner, and Ruby got corralled and put in a timeout. The oven would never be the same again. That was fun, Ruby grinned, eating her cake while in the timeout corner. Freddie groaned, wondering if Ruby or the Ghost Kids were worse. The Ghost Kids. I mean, Ruby makes a mess and all that, but at least you're not killing anyone. I mean, Bonnie was yelling from the closet while Foxy refused to open the door, claiming that the glitter had to settle first. Oh my god, Foxy. Goldie was hiding in her poster after being released from the vacuum to avoid punishment. But to everyone's dismay, Ruby let her keep the dazzler. Something about it being an apology gift for their first encounter. Goldie's glee left them all feeling worried. You bring chaos wherever you go, Freddie grumbled, while Chica dozed slightly on the table. Aw, poor Chica. Thank you, Ruby beamed while Foxy chuckled at them. You can't say it's boring, Freddie. The fox pointed out as Bonnie stumbled out of the closet drenched in glitter. Ruby dissolved into laughter, which ended in a choking fit as the cake went down wrong. She waved their questions off, though, and smiled when the fit ended. I can tell it's going to be great working here. Her beaming smile really could melt any heart, even if she was not so subtly pointing her combo weapon at them again. God damn it, Ruby! You're in timeout for a reason. Just eat your cake and just stop with the weapon. Just take a break for a moment. But yeah, so that's the end of chapter 13. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you give love to um Arctic Vulpix. This was actually a very short chapter, which I guess is one of the reasons why I like this story as well. At least reading it to you guys and doing videos because it's so short, and it doesn't really grate on my voice as much compared to Five Nights with Harry. That one does just a bit. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little reading, and if you want, leave a review to the story. You don't have to have an account. You can just do guest review. The only thing is, they can't respond back. So yeah. So like, comment any other future stuff, like any future fanfics you want me to read, and who knows, maybe in the future I'll read them in a story. I have some plans of future fics I want to read, but I want to finish this one and Five Nights at Harry's first before continuing that stuff. So yeah, and be sure to subscribe. I upload new videos every Friday. So yeah, I will see you next Friday with a new video.